Good morning from Nicaragua. So, I wanted to make a short video today to talk about movement fundamentals. And I've got an upcoming 7-week program that I'd love to invite you to join as well. But first of all, let's go into some of the things that I'm going to be teaching in this class and 3 things that you can actually start practicing right now. So, whether or not it's a fit for you to join me, you've got a few things to think about and a few things to practice. So, first of all, welcome. This is my new house. I'm in Nicaragua, and behind me are 3 dogs playing, so you might hear them. And I've also got lovely Brenda, who's here making me coffee and cleaning my house, who you might see in the background. Life here in Nicaragua has been crazy busy. I actually have not taught for, I don't know, maybe almost a year. I just have been building. I have a 5-acre property, and I've built 2 houses, and I have an incredible garden, which actually now supports about 6 or 7 veggie bag orders each week. So I'm just scaling up, and I've had a lot of energy going into that. And so lots of my focus, along with movement, has always been on nutrition and on having a garden and learning about the benefits of plants as medicines. And so that's really been something extra important now that I have the space to do that. And actually, I've been finding, though, that as I garden, my back hurts a lot. And when I'm bending over, when I'm picking things up. And so it's been an incredible reminder to actually get back to movement fundamentals, because we so need it in order to be active in our regular pursuits. And so I've been going back, and what I want to recommend to you guys and what I will be teaching is some core exercises, because core is always important. It's always the conversation and movement comes back and comes back and come back. And whatever you're doing in Pilates and yoga in the gym, to doing some core exercises. And so that will be one of the classes. We'll focus in on the core. And we will also focus in on looking at, and that's what I want to focus today, is how we get up and down off the ground, that transitional movement. And that, according to a Brazilian study, if we can get up and down off the ground with as little contact with using things for balance as possible, it's actually an indicator of our longevity, of how many years we're going to be living fruitfully and well. So we're going to be looking in one of the classes at our getting up and getting down movement and ways in which we can do that and make it graceful and make it into a practice that's actually a lovely movement practice. Today, what I want to have you practice is 3 sitting patterns. When we come into this world, our joints, if we're born with joints that are normal, not dysfunctional, some of us come in with hips that aren't perfect, and so we have that to contend with right from the get-go. But if you are born with a pretty normal functioning body, then you should be able to sit eventually, not immediately, but eventually, as you come into doing all of your movements. You've gone through the baby of crawling to walking with balance. We need to learn how to sit with our legs straight out in front of us and to be able to have our back straight. We also should be able to sit in a squatting position. And we should also be able to sit crisscrossed. And those are 3 different movements that require our muscles to have different types of flexibility and our joints to have different kinds of mobility. So I'm just going to repeat those 3 movements again. And so what we're going to start the 7 weeks with is these 3 movements. So sitting on the floor with your legs just straight out in front of you and your back nice and straight. What often happens because of tension through the hamstrings and gluteal muscles is that it's really hard to sit up straight, and we get pulled into a kind of a slumping position in order to have the legs straight in front of us. So practice that. The second one I want you to try is sitting in a squat, or lowering down as much as possible into a squatting position. Put something under your heels, like a book or a couple of blocks, so that you've got a little bit of a lift, and that will make it easier. And sit with your feet about hip width apart, and try and have your feet, they don't need to be completely parallel. Have them a little bit turned out, but I don't want you to have them so turned out that you're collapsing in on your arches. I see that a lot. So I want you to have them approximately parallel, and the arch is still somewhat lifted. Your heels lifted if you need that extra support for getting into the position. So that's your second movement. And your third movement is going to be sitting cross-legged. And again, and you can try this for your sitting with straight legs out in front of you. You may need to raise up something under your hips, putting a cushion or something like that. But just sitting cross-legged for a little while and just trying to hold that posture is so good for you. Anyhow, please come and join me in class. It's been ages since I've taught, and I'm so excited to have the time instead of focusing on plumbing and putting on roofs. This roof is actually still leaking, but I'm just so excited to come back and to share what I know. My love of movement is deep. And as an osteopath, I get to bring lots of really good anatomical knowledge as well as my kind of yogi background of making it flow and making it beautiful. Looking forward to seeing you for this program. Okay, thank you. Bye.